What's up? So 3 weeks ago, I was in Lviv, Ukraine, living out of an Airbnb with no proper kitchen, eating tuna straight from a can with boiled eggs. Temperature was dropping below freezing. I had to walk across the entire city to find a gym that wasn't complete garbage. And I'm still leaner than 99% of the guys at home with perfect conditions. So look, most guys, they use travel as an excuse. Oh, I'm on vacation. Oh, this gym's not good. I can't track my macros. They come back looking like they've been living off of airport food for the last 6 months. So I've been moving across Eastern Europe for the past 4 months, like war zones, language barriers, post-Soviet era equipment gyms, and meals that would make your nutritionist cry. I've maintained single-digit body fat throughout this entire time. Now today I'm breaking down my 10-rule protocol. This isn't just luxury travel advice, this is discipline forged under pressure. This is how you stay shredded when the entire world is falling apart around you. So rule number 1 is gym first, accommodation second. So before I book anything on Google Maps, I'm finding the best place to train, the best facility within walking distance. Not only the closest one, but it has to be the best one. And I'm here in Kiev, Ukraine. I literally mapped out every single gym within walking distance before booking my Airbnb. Some places look great online. Then I showed up and it was like a complete rusty bench with 0 plates. Then I'll walk an hour through the cold, if that's what it takes to find like a completely proper setup. Then I book my accommodations as close as possible to that gym. So the problem is that most guys, they do this completely backwards. So they book the cheap place, then they spend the whole trip making excuses about why they can't train. It is completely weak mindset. So rule number 2 is train when the entire world is asleep. Morning training is non-negotiable, like 5:30, 6 a.m. every single day before the entire city wakes up, before the day can derail you with thousands of distractions. It's done, it's locked in, and nothing can touch it. I remember one morning in Lviv, it was freezing outside. Most guys would have stayed in bed. I used it as an excuse not to skip the gym. So I'm walking through empty streets at dawn, hitting the gym before most people even knew what day it was. So that's when I realized something super important, that discipline doesn't disappear when you travel, it gets tested. And either you pass or it exposes you as somebody who performs under perfect conditions. So rule number 3, 4 meals minimum. You have to double down when you have to. So protein is absolutely everything. I need 210 grams daily in Eastern Europe. And that's not happening across 3 meals. The portions are completely different. The protein available are very limited sometimes. Sometimes you're also eating, what's available and it's not optimal. So I adapt, and in Lviv, I'm used to eating like super clean with tuna, like completely straight out of the can, boiled eggs and oats as well. I had no fancy kitchen, just discipline. While other people were out eating pizza and pastries, I was fueling the machine. Post-workout protein shakes if the gym has one, or my own protein powder if they don't. I ordered an entire grilled chicken at this place in Kiev where the waitress looked at me like I was completely insane. I didn't care. You eat for tomorrow's uncertainty, but not today's comfort. So rule number 4 is walk like your life depends on it. 10,000 steps minimum every single day, no exceptions. So one day I got completely flaked on by some girl I was supposed to meet. I didn't sulk. I was just going to go for a walk for 90 minutes through the city, and I filmed some B-roll footage. That walk probably burned me about 500 calories. It gave me the clarity I needed to keep executing every single hour of the day. So motion creates clarity. When you're walking everywhere anyway in these cities, it's going to help you with clearing up the mind. Uber barely exists out here. So when you're on foot constantly moving, you're constantly burning calories without it and even thinking about it. So one of my best content ideas came from these walks. Some of the clearest thinking as well comes from that too. Walking keeps you completely sharp and you just can't zone out. So it's going to be a game changer too when you're walking the streets where you don't even speak the language. So rule number 5 is to fast after you mess up. So there were nights where I completely overate, and the local cuisine, the social situations, the moments where I said yes instead of staying locked in, it happens. The next day, I just completely fasted until the evening. I even trained fasted in the morning. I got enough stored glycogen from the night before to power through any session. So that's where I completely earned my next meal. So it's not a punishment, it's a caliber. You overshoot, you correct. So you don't spiral into bad decisions because you had one bad night. Most guys, they use one mistake as permission for 10 more. And that's why they come back and they look soft after they travel. So I use one mistake as fuel for getting tighter. Rule number 6 is alcohol is the enemy of everything you want. I barely drink anymore. Maybe twice this entire time I've been in Eastern Europe. And both times, I have to be honest, I completely regret it. So alcohol in Eastern Europe hits different. It's stronger, it's cheaper. The culture around, everything around it is intense. And I noticed the same pattern. My strength completely drops, my definition disappears, and my sleep quality crashes, and my edge just gets super dull. If you're going to drink, understand the math. So 3 drinks is about 400 to 500 empty calories, give or take. That's about 400 to 500 calories you can spend on protein or fuel or just getting better. So most guys, they don't make this connection. They wonder why they look soft after a trip, or they were just having fun, and fun has a massive price always. So rule number 7 is no gym, no problem. There were places with no real gyms, hotels with single treadmills and some 5-pound dumbbells, Soviet era apartments with no equipment at all. So body weight circuits and resistant bands, push-ups until failure all work really well. I remember this one night in a basement in Kiev. There was no heat, there's no gym, just me and the floor. So 200 push-ups, 300 squats, the core work until my abs were completely cramped, and it was miserable, but it was perfect. So the guys who quit when conditions are perfect, it completely exposes themselves. And the guys who adapt, who find a way, they separate themselves from everybody else. So rule number 8 is use pressure as fuel, not as permission. Most guys, they stress as an excuse to break the protocol, like, oh, I'm in a war zone, I deserve to relax. There's uncertainty everywhere. I just want to enjoy myself. So I use pressure to get even sharper. When everything around you is chaotic, like your discipline becomes your anchor. When nothing is guaranteed, your standards become stability. So what's really important is the morning routine. The training, the nutrition, these aren't like super flexible based on external circumstances. They're fixed points in a variable world, and they're what make you unbreakable. So rule number 9 is if there's no clean food, just don't eat at all. So there have been days where I just can't find anything clean. I just couldn't eat. I waited until like I could get a proper meal, and that's standard. There were days in like some smaller Ukrainian cities where healthy options just simply did not exist. Everything was fried, processed, loaded with sugars and empty carbs. I was filming content in like random back alleys in Kiev, practically dodging rain. I'm still kind of hitting my macros and maintaining my standards, but I would fast until I found something acceptable to eat. And I would wait until dinner when I could get like a better restaurant and maybe order some fish or a massive steak. So your physique is built on cumulative choices. Like one bad meal leads to another, and the guys who maintain their condition while traveling are the guys who, would rather not eat than eat poorly. So rule number 10 is always ask, will I regret this tomorrow? Every decision runs through this filter, right? So the extra drink, the dessert, the skipping the workout because it's cold outside, how will I feel on the beach? How will I look in photos? How will I feel about myself when I'm trying to get back into routine? So that 20 minutes of pleasure from a 700 calorie dessert isn't worth like the week of looking softer. Just in my opinion, it's not. That extra hour of sleep isn't worth missing the training session either. And that keeps me sharp. So you have to think ahead. I play the long game when it comes to fitness. And that's why I can travel anywhere under any circumstance, any condition, and still maintain a physique that most guys, can only achieve under perfect circumstances. So look, you can maintain your condition under any possible condition. Most guys, they use travel as permission to break their standards. I use travel as pressure to raise them. Most guys, they come back soft. They make excuses about the gyms, the food, the circumstances. So I come back harder and with stories about discipline and being under fire. So the choice is yours ultimately. You can be the guy who needs perfect conditions to perform, or you can be the guy who performs, under any condition, regardless of conditions. So I know which one I am. If this helped you, hit the like button. And if you want more content like this about building discipline and maintaining excellence, regardless of your environment or where you are in the world, make sure to subscribe. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys on the next one.